That's what I'm.
In the introduction, the chairman of the Friends of TIJ, among other things, referred to me as an intellectual. Now, an intellectual, to make it simple, is somebody who has acquired good education, somebody who has acquired verifiable degrees, somebody who a university can stand and say, yes, we gave him that degree. Somebody who got a degree that he was not at the tail of the line, but he was in the front of the line. Now let me summarize my own background. If you go to the record at King's State University in 1987, December, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in communications and political science as the third Dukes in an American university. Third Dukes. So I did not graduate at the tail of the line. When I was graduating, white children were holding my gown. The normal period for a bachelor's degree is 4 years. Maybe when you have some complications, it will take you to 5. I took 3 years to get my bachelor's degree. So that is not an ordinary person. If you look even on my diploma, the degree the university gave me, there's a gold-plated seal on that degree, where they refer to my level as having graduated cum laude. Then I went to Howard University in Washington, D.C. When I went to Howard University in Washington, D.C., because I graduated with honors from King's State University, Howard University, at that time there was a gentleman from Greece called Nikolai Stavo. He was the chairman of the graduate school. He offered me an employment as a teaching assistant in the Department of Political Science when I was doing my master's degree. Nikolai Stavo, 1988, 1989, he was chairman of the Political Science Department, the graduate school. Hillborn Watson was the chairman of the overall department at Howard University. So while I was getting my master's degree at Howard University, I was also teaching American students their own political science. So I got my master's degree from Howard that you can check to say yes.
Lovely day in July, the 7th day of the 7th month, 7/7/25. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. We are here until 5:58, 59 thereabouts, when we give way for the news to come. At 5 p.m. we will have with us Nimba County Representative Ernest Mansier. County issues, but of course the major one, this whole thing with ArcelorMittal will be on the cards at 4 p.m. We'll have a team here from the Liberia Revenue Authority, that's LRA.
And
before that, we will talk the things that matter, some real hard things as well. Everything right here. And the OK Conversation on OK FM 99.5. My name is Julius J. Welcome to it. Don't go anywhere. Yep, I was not here on Thursday. I'll tell you why. But before that, this is where we go. Yes, indeed. Kenya's security forces have blocked all major roads leading into central Nairobi ahead of a planned nationwide protest. Much of the city center is deserted, with businesses shut and a heavy security presence on the streets. Some schools have advised students to stay at home. Hundreds of early morning commuters and overnight travelers were stranded at checkpoints, some located more than 10 kilometers from the city center, with only a few vehicles allowed through. The U.S. has deported 8 people to South Sudan following a legal battle that saw them diverted to Djibouti for several weeks. The men, convicted of crimes including murder, sexual assault, and robbery, had either completed or were near the end of their prison sentences. Only one of the 8 is from South Sudan. The rest are nationals from Myanmar, Cuba, Vietnam, Laos, and Mexico. The U.S. officials said most of their home countries have refused to accept them. Keep this story in your mind. I'll come back to it in my discussion. Uganda's long-serving president, Yoweri Museveni, he's 80, has been declared the governing party's candidate in next year's presidential election, opening the way for him to seek to extend his nearly 40 years in power. In his acceptance speech, Museveni said that he had responded to the call, and if elected, will press ahead with his mission to turn Uganda into a high middle-income country. Museveni's critics say he has ruled with an iron hand since he seized power as a rebel leader in 1986. The year I was born was the year this man came to power. And he has been in power. The man's telling you and I are equal. Yeah. Welcome to the OK Conversation on OK FM 99.5. Let's take a very quick break. We have lots to run through. That's why you see me moving like this. So we have lots to run through. Let's take a break with some of our sponsors. We'll come back. We'll take our fact check and then the issues. Very germane, very important to our country. Okay. This is where we are right now.
Yamaha CFL Mobility. Yamaha iron ride Yamaha, I can move in the mall on top of the sky. Yamaha iron ride Yamaha, I can move in the water like quota. Yamaha iron ride Yamaha, I can move in the mall on top of the sky. Yamaha iron ride Yamaha, I can move in the water like quota. Yamaha J, the king of the road and the giant for all of the quota. Once in order can fly on the ocean, it can take you from Ghana with motion. CFP with mobility, I can sell the original quality. The people in the city will celebrate Yamaha breath, dropping the prices on Yamaha breath. Making the service a fully with spare partner to it bananas and strap up. The people that selling the commercial Yamaha motorbike, selling a fishing boat engine. July 1st by the Yamaha birthday. Today that Yamaha birthday, we offering services, discount prices at our office in Talawa. We talking it and we doing it bigger. Today that Yamaha birthday, July 1st by the Yamaha birthday. Today that Yamaha birthday, July 1st by the Yamaha birthday. Today that Yamaha birthday, July 1st by the Yamaha birthday. Today that Yamaha birthday. Whoa, my people, this July 1st, Yamaha Motor is celebrating 70 powerful years. In Liberia, you are invited. Come say on time, just before Lockington Cinema, for a one-of-a-kind celebration. Yamaha is more than just motorcycle. We are powering land and water. Check out our strong, fuel-efficient Yamaha motorbike built for Liberia's road, reliable for your hustle, and now available at special discount prices. Trust my level, Yamaha and play. And for our river communities and business people, Yamaha world-class boat engines are ready for you too. Yamaha get boat engines that are very powerful, trusted worldwide, and they are now available in Liberia. Do you need servicing or you need spare parts? Forget about it, Yamaha get your solution on July 1st. Just check out our Seyon Town office before Lockington Cinema. You will see Yamaha building. You check there on the 1st of July from the morning to the afternoon or the evening. You will see the people doing services at our special anniversary discount prices. Yamaha Motors on the road and on the river, we move forward quietly.
Rushing. Why are you rushing to so?
You, Judy, don't give me hard time, man. I'm going to the bank to get my cash because the bank was so close.
You can use the ATM?
My ATM card expired ever since.
My man, you don't need ATM card. Just use the mobile app and generate an e-token. All you have to do is to just log on the app, you click on Express Cash. Then you select ATM. From there now you select generate e-token. Then you select the account you want the money to come from. From there you select the currency that you want. If the Liberian dollars or US dollars. Then you put in the amount that you want, whether $10 or $20, you put it in and you generate your e-token. It's simple, like 8 numbers that will come to you. When you get that number, just go to any ATM there. All you have to do is to just select the C Express Cash on the ATM now. The place where you're supposed to put your ATM pin, that way you pull that 8 number. Then it will ask you for the amount. That money where you generated, that money will come with the ATM will pay you.
So simple. Echo Banners for me again. Oh. I will always make use of the Express service big time. Echo Bank, the Pan-African Bank.
Are you a driver? Do you have a ride? Want to make some extra cash? Say no more, because we've got you covered. Omuta has arrived. The best drivers app to ever hit Liberia. With over 1 million riders just waiting for you. Join the train right now and don't be left out. Drive at your own convenient time. Drive whenever it suits you. Drive on the weekdays. Drive on the weekends. Drive in the evening. Make driving work around your lifestyle. The good news is you get paid every day. Every time you drive, you get money. So don't be left out. Rush now and get your Omuta app on Google Play and Apple Store. It's ORMUTA. Omuta, the best driver app connecting Liberia. So don't be left out. Join the Omuta family right now and make some cash. Let's roll, baby. Let's roll, baby.
Okay. Welcome back. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. Let's now take our fact check segment with our partners, Local Voices. When we come back, the issues that matter will be on the cards.
Good day and welcome to the fact check segment. This segment debunks disinformation and it provides the verified facts of statements made online and on the radio. I am Siawe Miapu and today we'll be fact-checking claims made in the last couple of days. To begin with, on June 30, Liberian economist Samuel Jackson and a panelist on Spoon Talk, he claimed in a Facebook post that 90% of Liberians do not have pipe-borne water. He made this claim while expressing frustration that despite the country's vast natural wealth, most Liberians still lack basic services like pipe-borne water and electricity, living in poverty due to poor governance and corruption. To fact-check this claim, we conducted an online search and found the 2019-2020 Liberia Demographic and Health Survey conducted by the Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services. The LDHS defines pipe water access as a household's main source of drinking water being directly supplied into the dwelling or within the yard or compound. According to the 2019-2020 LDHS, only 8.6% of households reported having pipe water either into their dwelling or their yard or plot. This figure is also cited in the 2021 World Bank World Poverty Diagnostic Report. We'll also review the 2022 National Population and Housing Census published by LHS. While it reports on improved water sources, it does not specifically state the percentage of Liberians with pipe water. Based on this available evidence, right, even though the Ministry of Labor is clearly allocated 1,503,332 in the 2024 national budget, it did not show any allocation specifically covering the vacation job program. This is all we have time for on the Fact Check segment. This segment is part of an MOU between Local Voices Liberia, OKFM, Pram FM and Kel Radio to counter disinformation to help the public make informed decisions. This MOU is funded by the Liberia Media Empowerment Project implemented by Internews with funding from the European Union. The funder or partner had no say in the electoral decision leading to the production of this Fact Check segment. We will be back with more Fact Check on X at LVL Fact Check and go to our website at www.localvoicesliberia.com. I am Siawe Miapu. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
And welcome. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. Share the video, invite others to join in. Very important to do so. So I wasn't here on Thursday. We honored an invitation from the Chinese embassy near Monrovia to have some discussions with the Chinese ambassador to Liberia. And so they even put out a statement after that meeting. It says on July 3rd, the Chinese embassy in Liberia held the media briefing. Ying Chengwu, Chinese ambassador to Liberia, attended the meeting. Representatives from 14 media agencies, including the Daily Observer, the New Dawn, Front Page Africa, and the News, among others, attended. Ying meeting of coordinators on the implementation of the follow-up actions of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation (FOCAC), the 4th China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo, the commemorative activities marking the 80th anniversary of the victory in the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the War Anti-Fascist War, the establishment of the International Organization for Mediation. He also outlined China's position on the Taiwan question. Yin emphasized that China is willing to earnestly implement the guideline of President Xi Jinping's congratulatory letter to the ministerial meeting of coordinators on the implementation of the follow-up actions of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation (FOCAC) and promote more fruitful cooperation between China and Liberia. Yin also addressed questions. The atmosphere was warm and friendly. That was it. Highlighting these different events just read about, and how China is determined to make stronger its relations with these different countries. All of these big, powerful countries are doing everything to have friends in their corner. And of course, China is not going to let go of that, according to the Chinese ambassador. One of such is the FOCAC, the follow-up meetings for the implementation. Different promises, different pledges, different things were signed as a result of the FOCAC, attended by President Boakai and team. Was it earlier this year? Yeah. So there was a follow-up meeting. We know what China has done here. There was this question about why they don't, they don't have a say in the politics, the hardcore issues of the day. So, it is their politics their policy to stay away from those, those kinds of conversations. The focus is exactly on what their relations with any of the countries they are operating in, what their relations with that country is, and not the internal issues. I asked about, how are they able to 1 billion plus, 1.4 billion plus people, they are able to feed themselves. The food is just all over. Food is plentiful, and not very expensive. Why? How have they been able to do that, and what can we learn, out of that? Smaller countries that cannot feed ourselves. He talked about will. The will to get it done. He said in the 1970s, it wasn't like that. They themselves were struggling. People were usually hungry and all of that. And they decided that, we have to get this done. We have to feed ourselves. So it was about will. Yeah, as about agriculture, as about technology. That's what their big leap, their huge advance into technology. Some of the things I saw, I lived in the UK for over a year. I didn't see all of the commercial and personal bikes I saw in China are EVs, are electric bikes. Yeah, I didn't see, the gasoline type of bikes. The cities I was in, I'm not saying it is not there. Let's get it straight. But the cities that I visited, the ones that I saw, were EVs. And there are so many. Everybody on their personal bike. No sound, no noise, all of that. And a whole lot of the vehicles, the Jeeps, the small cars and all of that, a whole lot of them, perhaps half of them you will see are also EVs. So China is going far off in terms of green energy, clean energy, you just see all these cars, some of the taxis that will come for you, they are all EVs, electric vehicles, vehicles that can be charged. Charge a battery, it moves. There's no gas business. Yeah, that's why I call EV. Because one of our earliest, when we went to Beijing, because we landed in Beijing, the Liberian guy who was helping to ferret us here and there towards the difference. So you see the EV cars will have green plate, and the gasoline cars will have blue plate. So once you see the green plate, it is an EV. So I asked about that big leap into technology. how it is serving them, and how we can learn from them. So, China is leading the world in a whole lot of these things. The question about developing country, somebody brought that up, and I also added to it, and the ambassador argued that they still consider themselves to be developing. It is their view that they are still developing, various reasons and all of that. So okay, we have to take that, but we don't think we should be in the same bracket. So Liberia is are we a developing country? So we are China, and we can't be in the same bracket. We can't. No. But that's what it was. We always hope and pray the best for our country as we navigate ourselves in the midst of all of these actors, to be able to carry ourselves well for our own benefit. So the National Elections Commission has announced that out of 18 nomination forms issued for the upcoming by-election in Nimba County District Number 5, only 11 were submitted by the official deadline. So 11 people have expressed their interest to contest the vacancy created by Senator Samuel Koga's ascension as senator of the county has created a vacancy in district number 5, which is to be filled. 11 people have expressed their interest. NET will produce the final listing to know who are the final candidates for that process. So we'll see how that plays out. Of course, it is a little muted. You don't hear a whole lot of talk about it unless you go in that district in Nimba County, because as much as it's nationally significant, it's mostly a county specific, a district specific kind of election. But you want a huge challenge from opposition parties in those kinds of places. But as it is, it still looks muted. It's like it's going to be whomever the. Okay. Let me walk that back a bit. But it's like there'll be a rivalry, or the person put forward by the MDR, depending on whether they are all in line with that person. Of course, I think they will be, maybe in pole position, or unless there's some independent candidate or somebody else that will put up such a strong contention. Then we'll see how that plays out. Ministry of Public Works, we should have them here on tomorrow. But of course, there has been this announcement about them having a temporary restriction on heavy goods vehicles exceeding 25 metric tons along key unpaved primary road corridors across Liberia. That if you're that big, you weigh more than 25 metric tons, find somewhere else to be. Don't go on those roads in this rainy season. And of course, that has brought up a huge discussion on social media. Others are saying the government does not want to be exposed, because if these vehicles move there, the road will get spoiled, and then it will fly in the face of this whole thing about no car will get stuck. So they are preventing these cars, and people are doing business, and their goods have to go during this rainy season. It could be affecting them and all of that. I know that conventionally, normally speaking, in most countries, there are certain roads, a certain way of cars can go on. Or when they go there, they will pay some money. They call it assaulting. Yeah. Depending on the quality of the road and what it is supposed to take, certain cars can go there. It is a conventional practice. However, in those countries, there can be alternative ways. So, for an example, 2 or 3 roads enter this place, and perhaps we want to maintain this. Maybe this is a kind of sexy, beautiful, lovely kind of road, like that one I posted from China, and we don't want these heavy cars to go there. But there are other ways the heavy cars can use to go in. So they will not use this one. in this case, if they are saying it is these primary roads that they should not go on, that is that they should just stay away from. Any dirt road, these big cars should stay away until the rainy season passes, because there is not an alternative to get there. Because even the alternative could be a primary road, so you can't go there. So you just park yourself and stay in town or stay on quota roads. That's what it means. Well, they'll be here tomorrow to further explain. Yeah, that is that for that. We make progress. So we've also been reading that the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission has formally requested the Liberia Immigration Service to impose temporary travel restriction on several covering informal public officials linked to ongoing corruption investigations. We'll go deep into that tomorrow. We also know that as we speak, President Joseph Nimba County has departed Liberia for the high-level U.S. African Leaders Summit. What has the executive mansion said about that? Let me take you there. Okay. Let that one hold on yet. Let it hold on, because I'll just discuss everything surrounding it. Yeah, I'll just discuss everything surrounding it. So let's start from here. President Boakai lights National Healing, Reconciliation and Unity candle at EJS Ministerial Complex. As part of ongoing efforts to foster peace, unity, and national renewal, His Excellency Joseph Nimba County, Senior President of the Republic of Liberia, yesterday lit the National Healing, Reconciliation and Unity candle at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex in Congo-Town, Monrovia. The symbolic ceremony was a central feature of the National Healing, Reconciliation and Unity Program, a historic initiative aimed at honoring the memory of victims of the Liberian Civil War, the Ebola and COVID-19 pandemics, and other national traumas. It also serves as a call to action for all Liberians to unite in a spirit of forgiveness, solidarity, and national rebuilding. In his remarks, President Boakai described the lighting of the candle as a solemn national moment, a symbol of our collective journey from pain to purpose, from division to unity, and from grief to healing. Today, as we light this candle, the President stated we ignite not only a flame but a shared commitment to confront our past honestly, to honor those we have lost, and to build a Liberia that is more just, more peaceful, and more united, he added. The ceremony was attended by high-ranking government officials, traditional religious leaders, members of the diplomatic corps, survivors and victims' families, civil society organizations, and ordinary citizens from across the country. The candle will remain lit as a national symbol of remembrance and resolve, underscoring the Boakai administration's dedication to inclusive dialogue, truth-telling, transitional justice, and sustainable peace. The event marks a pivotal moment in Liberia's post-war history, reinforcing the administration's vision of a reconciled and cohesive nation where all citizens, regardless of ethnicity, religion, region, or political affiliation, can thrive in dignity and mutual respect. We also know that he has also extended what is called as historic apology on behalf of the nation to victims and survivors of the Liberian Civil War. So, in a deeply moving and unprecedented act of national leadership, President Joseph Nimba County Sr. yesterday, that was on Saturday, so it is already on yesterday, so they put yesterday, they should have said Saturday, issued a formal apology on behalf of the government and people of Liberia to the victims and survivors of the country's brutal civil war. The apology was delivered during the National Healing, Reconciliation and Unity program held at the Ellen blah 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 to its citizens during one of the darkest chapters in its history. Ladies and gentlemen, as your president and as a fellow Liberian, today, on this historic occasion, I offer a formal apology on behalf of the state. To every victim of our civil conflict, to every family broken, to every dream shattered, we say we are sorry. The state could have done better but was used as agency. But we are here now and we must do everything we can to make sure that it never fails if we can. The president emphasized that this apology is not merely symbolic, but marks a critical turning point in Liberia's national journey toward truth, justice and reconciliation. He reaffirmed his administration's commitment to transitional justice, including the implementation of recommendations from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the establishment of national memorials, and support for survivors in affected communities. President Boakai also called on all Liberians across political, ethnic, and generational lines to unite in healing and to build a society where the atrocities of the past can never be repeated. The historic apology was received with emotion and reflection by those in attendance, many of whom described it as a long-awaited moment of recognition and dignity. Okay, so a symbolic move, a program held to push the ideals and ideas of reconciliation, to reconcile the people. That event was held. I saw a whole lot of government officials, government people there, some civil society people, at least from the videos that I saw. Yes, some families of victims and all of that. I believe it was a good thing for the apology to come out. So you got the people of the people about the people. So governments are they are part of a linear process that continues on and on. One comes in, leaves, another one comes in. One way or the other, each will have to take up the blame of the other. The failures of the past led us to a tragic civil war. So I think it's a good thing. The recognition, the apology, and the urge, the call for people to unite. Symbolically, all of those things sound good. They look good. As to what extent these kinds of events and these pictures actually make people to reconcile is another thing. If someone killed my mom, they killed my爸, they killed my relative or my friend, blah blah blah, and I know them and I see them, does the speech, do the actions make me to forgive them or not? I don't know. People should be able to answer those kinds of questions for themselves. But symbolically, these kinds of moves are okay. My other question would be, where do these things leave the War and Economic Crimes Court? What does this reconciliation actually mean? Are we reconciled? We as a result of the program, are we reconciled? Was there something to reconcile? Have we reconciled it? Are we still moving on with the War and Economic Crimes Court? If so, have we now paid those people who are working there to ensure that this thing can come up or not? Or have we slowed down after the death of Senator Prince Johnson, who many people thought was a key target of these kinds of actions? I really cannot say, but these are questions to continuously ponder over. Have to ponder them and see what does it leave us. He talked about rebuilding trust between citizens and the state, strengthening democratic institutions, and lay a foundation for lasting peace and inclusive development. For me, that is where the reconciliation is. This has been my argument ever since. Yeah, we can have all these events and everything else, but there has to be a transformative development change in the lives of people, jobs, and all those kinds of things, strengthened institutions, people accounting for what they did, and all those kinds of things. They are the ones, because the other thing too is the political divide, and it is becoming more entrenched. It is not heavily linked to the Civil War and all of that. That's an entirely different ball game. The political divide is is there is huge. How do you also address that? People are talking about opposition people being there and all those kinds of things. Well, I think they should have, but they are not the ones that fought the war, though. You know, they are not the ones, or those of them that fought the war should have been there. But you know, if it is about the war and all those kinds of things, yeah, because of the control they have over their people too, you want them to be there and all those kinds of things. But I hope we do not also mistake disagreement politically to mean that, oh yeah, the country is disunited, is unreconciled and all of that. No, there will always be disagreements, you know. So all these things are kept in perspective. More importantly, is to continue the drives of strengthening our democratic institutions. The rule of law should hold for everybody. Jobs, development will help make things easier, move things faster than a whole lot of the symbolic gestures, as good as they are, have to be commended as well. Okay, let's take this. Let's take this. Very important to the country. So I will play you a voice. And this voice is very important to be played because one of the issues confronting people, prices. Prices going up. You listen to things prices going up. You listen on this other side, things prices are going up and all of that. And part of the puzzle has to do with the gateway to the economy, the free port of Monrovia. You know, I know there is something about some port bill. You know, I've for some reason I've never discussed this port bill before, but I hope soon we'll get into it. But that's not what I want to talk about now. But I have a voice of the vice president, and this is important for the country because it is tied to your livelihood. All of us, our livelihood is tied to it. So let's listen. Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this.
I say to the APM terminal, the National Port Authority, the LRA, all the work you do here, if we don't trickle down on the lady sitting in the market there, it will just be all for the camera and us dressing well and sitting here. The work here must reflect on the woman sitting in the market. It may reflect on the people in the villages. Because when container price reduce, when tariff and other things are reduced, and one machine breaking down, if APM terminal is supposed to move my machine, I experience it, and that's why I'm saying it. By the time I never had the voice to speak, nobody could listen. But I have the voice now, and that's why I'm speaking for those people who cannot speak out there. You get your container in this port, and sometimes the crane go pick your container up and the crane breaks down, and you charge me for delay. How in this world we can do that? That has to change. The services at this port must change. Yes, when the president comes in, the vice president comes in, big people come in, we try to pin everything and make everything look good, the cameras here, it has to change. And we have to be real, so I'm calling on you, please. Mr. Andy, if you are a broker here, you will know what happened here. I have a lot of broker friends. I almost became a broker here. Having too many. They used to be the president here before, and so I know this place. I know some of the frustration here. And that's why our business people sometimes, we leave the port of Monrovia and ship through the concrete port. We leave the port of Monrovia and want to ship through the Freetown port. When the volume here increase and the price reduce, You make more money than to ship 2 cars for 1,000. It's better to ship 10 cars for 300 each. You make $3,000 than to ship 2 cars for $1,000. I say this because when it goes wrong, it is the president's picture that comes on the front of the newspaper. None of you hear a picture go on the newspaper. Sometimes, unfortunately for me, they put my picture by him too. And so when our children see our picture, and the country is suffering, we are doing nothing, so that they are ashamed to get in the public. And so when we come at this forum, and Brother, we thank you for some of the work we're doing. We have to be bold and tell you that some of the things happening, what we are hearing from our people is not right and able to change.
Powerful, right? Yeah, he spoke experientially. You know, when you speak experientially, it means you are speaking from experience. He's a businessman. He knows what the problems are and all those kinds of things. He's admonishing that whatsoever happens there should trigger down. You can do everything else, but if it is not reflecting in prices on the businesswoman, I don't think supporters of the government go angry. But I'm sure they would have reacted angrily if somebody else, for example, from opposition, from media, from civil society, if they had said the very same things that were said by the VP. You see, the issues that confront every country, they cut across. They are not party specific. They are not interest specific. He spoke passionately. He spoke strongly. He wants it to change. But he's part of those that are supposed to make a change. Okay, he was representative, he came from business background. One voice, I can understand. Senator, more powerful position, still one voice. Okay, so we can say. I'm not sure what his role was then, you know. So they say the first thing to solving a problem is to identify it, right? So the problem has been identified multiple times, and he has joined as well in the identification of a problem that has been identified long ago. So as much as passionate and powerful as that address was, until they are in the driving seat, take action to change it, then it's almost like wasting water on ducks' back. So for me, as much as that would be impressive to people, yeah, the VP spoke, it doesn't change anything until they take the actions that should be taken. So those actions do not rest with MPA or APN terminals or whatsoever. They rest with the government of Liberia in its entirety, through the processes that should change those things. So yeah, we knew the problem. It is identified. It is accentuated by the vice president. But he's the president of the Senate, right? A very powerful post. We know some of the reasons those prices will be up. The GTMS, CTN, the MedTech, and all those kinds of things that people have talked about, that we have highlighted. We read other reports here and all those kinds of things. What has the government done? Zilch. Nothing. So, if the vice president, speaking on behalf of the president, they want the situation at the port to improve in terms of fees and all those kinds of things, they and the legislature will do what they're supposed to do. And they know what to do, and so they should do it. Folks? When the executive wanted Fonati out, They did what they did, and the lawmakers. So, every time leaders, when they want to do something, they can get it done. Anything you see that cannot get done, it's not that it can get done. It's that their interest there may not be as passionate as we think. Yeah? If they want this thing at free port so that people will not be going to other ports, if they want those fees to drop, and those fine explanations that he gave about it is better to share so amount of cars for this, than to share one car for this, that, and people using other ports and all of that. And that it should trickle down. If they want it to change, it will change. At least we know clearly now that he's also aware of the problem. So, Mr. VP, move another step. In fact, the better step. Action through the legislature. Action through the executive. They get the IMCC. They get all kinds of groupings. Yeah. The president has your ear. So you will do what you can to change it. Yeah. While we activate on those kinds of things, you all should do what you should do too. Yeah. So we all identify the problem now. For some of us, we wouldn't know how to identify. We can't solve it. We're not in a position to solve it. You people who are in the position, solve it. Yeah? So at least 1 or 2 months from now, let me hear say, as a result of the VP going to the program at the free port and speaking, blah, 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 so move has been made, so has dropped, blah, blah, blah. Then, that's that one there now, I think we'll say, yes. Thanks to the government of Liberia, blah, 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 for taking this action. That's how this thing, at this point, no. I can't thank you for being vexed. You vexed. No, you vexed. You're angry. I can't appreciate you for being angry. Why should I appreciate you for being angry? You angry, Jada? You angry, yeah. So leave the anger. Go and do the work. All of you, the executive, the legislature, judiciary, anybody who should be involved. Do the work, solve the problem. Then we can praise you. At this point, no. Okay, finally, there are plenty of things to talk about. Former Finance Minister Samuel Tuwa said some things the other day. We'll try to unpack some of those things on tomorrow. Finally, the president, I believe our guest should be around. The president is on his way to Washington, and you heard all of the different analyses on Thursday morning from international relations experts with Clarence and all of that. You heard everything, so I'm not going to bore you with that. But the president is going now. So on the heels of the president going, there was this agreement signed, and not the executive mansion, but the U.S. Embassy has already reported on it. Let me read what they have there. Let me read what they have from U.S. Embassy. So it says the U.S. Embassy welcomes the signing of a concession and access agreement between U.S.-owned Ivanhoe Atlantic and the government of Liberia. U.S.-owned Ivanhoe Atlantic. Signing of a concession and access agreement. This estimated $1.8 billion deal is a crucial step towards President Bouakai's objectives of developing Liberia's multi-use oil policy and securing new international investment. By increasing U.S. investment in Africa, we drive mutual prosperity and support Liberia's move from aid to trade. Okay. So, the president is invited as one of 5 countries for this U.S.-Africa meeting. And I know some other big countries, big players, economic players in Africa are like, why these smaller, not very economically significant countries? Well, every U.S. government has a policy that for me, I strongly believe, reading everything that I've read and seeing everything I've seen, there are particular reasons these countries are being invited. I read a story earlier about some quote-unquote criminals, convicted criminals being sent to South Sudan. I am told it could be part of the discussion. It could be from security to those kinds of things. Do they want to send some people here so that we become the base to host them and all those kinds of things in the new Trumpian policy of shipping criminals away, undocumented citizens, criminals away from this country, and those kinds of things. They could be part of the package, And interestingly, you don't see like officials of government, official platforms churning out this news about the presidents. They're not making it big because I think they themselves not very sure. They're not very sure. Yeah, Trump being Trump and the unpredictability that comes with him, you're not very sure what it could be about. So, let's take it easy. So you hype it some kind of way, and then it turns around some kind of way. So also there's deal signed yesterday, and people have been expressing concerns. You signed such a significant deal under the cover of darkness, and people are right. It is a U.S. embassy that is publishing it, not the Liberian government, because the issue of access it's a long-running issue about the rail. ArcelorMittal has the legal rights in terms of its concession agreement over that rail. We know from the previous administration it was an issue. HPX, represented by Ivanhoe, has always wanted to transport ore from Guinea through that very same corridor, but the issue of ArcelorMittal being the user operator as per its concession agreement was the sticking factor. They wanted to do so immediately. ArcelorMittal's deal should end in 5 years. They need a new one. So there are all kinds of things happening. So to have it signed just on the use of the president going and some of those associated with, for the U.S. embassy to pose it, for the issue of a private company and all of that, it talks about interests. So all these big countries have their interests. Whether it's the U.S., it's China, or whosoever, they have their interests in your country, and they will always push their interests first. And so when you engage in them, push your interests well too. And I think we have a perfect example to learn from the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf model. I think she did very well in navigating the country among these powerful interests, China, U.S. Even I think she sometimes played with Russia and all of that, Europe, and she was able to navigate away. So I hope President Bwaka is reading from that book. I don't think the Weah administration did very well on that front to play among the interests. They didn't do very well. That China had to stop their developmental initiatives because of one major bleak move made by the Weah administration, or because they were kowtowing to the U.S. and everything was about U.S. and U.S. interests and blah blah blah. They still sanction their people though. Yeah. So, but you have to find a way to push your country's interests. Play among them. Yeah. Play among them. I thought the whole deal here too. Last year, executive management reported $5 billion something. I was reading on Kula's page. $5 billion something HPS deal, blah blah blah. How is it 1.8 billion? We don't know. That they're talking about. Is it just about Liberia or the entire corridor? So we don't know what was signed. We need to know. But as it stands, it is difficult to divest ArcelorMittal of the rights as the user and operator of the rail. They have 5 more years. So if there's an agreement that, okay, in the 5 years, because after 5 years, in its new agreement, I don't think the government will accept that company should be the user operator. So there will be a third party to run that. But within that time, before that time, what is in this agreement? Does it grant similar rights of equality to Ivanhoe? Or is it after 5 years? We don't know what is there. So it is shrouded in secrecy. And that's where the government needs to come out. Was there some kind of pressure? Because we know there was a very disrespectful letter. Let me not say disrespectful, because we could consider it disrespectful, and perhaps the office of the president didn't consider it disrespectful. But we saw a letter that we thought was disrespectful to the presidency from these very people. But still, we just can't deal with them just like that. I'm not sure we saw another letter to say sorry for how we addressed the presidency and all of that, the backlash from Liberians. I'm not sure we ever saw that. But we signed. Maybe we did not want to be questioned. Why are you delaying HPX? Why are you delaying Ivanhoe? We've been in your country for long. Donald Trump. President Joe, why have you not signed Ivanhoe deal? We've been down there. You've taken American people's money, and your government have not done anything yet. All those things, I just signed it here. So the government signed, the government can talk. How can you sign something that's in a tune of 1.8 billion? Even though it still should go to legislature, though. That's why I understand. But government can talk. Man. Eh? You know the party government are like big show, everything they can make. Why have they not posted about it? What? Yeah? It's not easy. Ain't easy to work. So because Metal to just spying. What did they sign? Metal wants to know what they signed. Yeah? Because they put it in the embassy statement access, that the real business access. Now the problem here, CDC government, it was not easy. Yeah, the whole real business. It was not easy. So the same thing here again. Access. Yeah? What did they sign? So Aslam Metal about sharp, shiny looking. Yeah. So the government said, but let's take few calls. Our guests are coming in. 777-700-995, 555-995, 995. The numbers to call. You will be through. This is what makes governance a tough area to be. You need a whole lot of wisdom to navigate through a whole lot of things. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Julius, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
Governance is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very difficult for that matter. And that's why I want to start with the point you just concluded on. Julius, our president, T. Eropa here. Mm-hmm. Our president was invited. Interestingly, our government signed a major document, $1 billion. How can we sign a document and we be informed by a foreign country that yesterday we have signed this document? Something is not right. Should the U.S. Embassy be the one to inform us about a major concession agreement? Something is wrong. Was it that our president, our government was coerced to have done so? And another thing, why is it that government officials that would know that can be running with story? Why are they not celebrating? But again, let's follow the situation. JJ, there's that young man who wrote something on your page. Mm-hmm. I don't know what he called it. Thomas G.S. Dewey. I think he tagged you to it. His father was gruesomely killed during the war. And he too was asking why is it that his father had not been buried. The point I'm trying to make is that, look, reconciliation, genuine reconciliation is good for the nation. But a cosmetic reconciliation is no way. We have had over 250,000 people that died during this war. We're talking about countless of victims of people. And we saw few names over there, the door, the trouble they did. Is it that we just want to satisfy those at the top, or those who continue to have high position? We should move above that. And for the VP, it's time that we match our action with words. We have heard so much. And there's no talk about that port. Everybody has spoken about the port. It's time that we take action. Thank you.
Take action. Thanks so kindly. It's time for action. Let's go international. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, Julius. My dear in the Port of Paris.
Go ahead, Frank. Merci beaucoup.
I want to speak quickly on two issues. One is the emergency signing of this landmark document, secretly by the president or the governor of the Republic of Liberia. It reminds me about when Obasanjo was leaving Nigeria to meet President Bush in the U.S. While Obasanjo was in a flight, President Bush said, if you don't take charge over, you'll not be able to meet me. And this is exactly what happened. The doctor was saying this morning, according to information, I don't know how true is that, people were saying the young man who is, or the person who is heading this for Liberia to be included in it. So they forced President Joseph Boy to sign this document, otherwise he will not meet President Trump.
Allegedly.
It's unfortunate.
Allegedly.
This is exactly what President Obasanjo did. Any chance in order to meet President Bush. On the issue of this criminal sending to Africa, you know the United Kingdom and Rwanda had the same agreement.
Mm-hmm.
The UK gave Rwanda a huge sum of money to send asylum seekers in Rwanda to process their document if they are accepted before they will come back to the US to the UK to live. And President Joseph Boyka will accept for Donald Trump to send high-court criminal in Liberia. It's concerning, Julius. We have to be very, very careful of that.
Okay.
We have to be very, very careful. Liberia is a volatile society. Sending high-court criminal for the US in Liberia, where we see people breaking jail.
Thanks so kindly. Those are speculations yet, but thanks so kindly. Thanks so kindly. 3 more as we go over to our guests. Welcome, let's hear you.
Good afternoon, Julius.
Yes, go ahead. What's the name? Where are you calling from?
Thank you, Julius, for having me on your platform.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Chasi Manayam Tubachino of the Intellectual Club District number 14. Julius, let me say good afternoon to your listening audience. Well, Julius, I'm Chasi Manayam Tubachino of the Intellectual Club District 14. Julius, I have a concern about this bill that the government has to sign. I call it beyond closed door or on a non-working day. It's the same deal I have to do with high power exploration, HPX, even Joe. When I saw the except from the U.S. Embassy appraising, Mr. Boyka, because Mr. Boyka, his government is dedicated to, improving multilateral, use of the railway. I think there's the same kind of tragedy that the Liberian government was filled with on personal will. But what this government should have done, in my opinion, was not to physically sign any concession with HPS or with Elon Joe. This government should have gone, or the president should have gone to the U.S., president sit down with Donald Trump, have your intimidation, put your conscious platform, before Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is, I'm a strong supporter of Donald Trump. He's a business person, okay? He's a business he has driven the U.S. policy towards a more trade, accepted other than being a dependent or decreasing the dependency on the U.S. You want to see the U.S. as a trade partner. And Liberia has why it takes the trading with the U.S. If the U.S. can trade with Vienna, one more about Liberia will have more countries. But the government at the other intimidation have signed this concession. It was better the president sit down with Donald Trump and put his country platform. This time around, it is not only actual method that is in Liberia, AML like Liberia. There are other companies like this. The U.S. company, Firestone, has been here for over decades. There has been, what is the significant improvement in these American companies have done in this country? I think it is about time and the green have been given to Liberia because of its its position under the Security Council. This is the best time that Mr. Boyka will advocate, put before the issue concerning Firestone, how Firestone has mistreated Liberians for the years. I remember 2005.
Thanks so kindly. We'll hold you there. We can't keep you alone on the final one. Others need to speak. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you, my good friend and brother Julius. Thank you so much always for the opportunity. Let me commend you. No, Julius, it was just been one day where they start telling us, say, you have to find another country for you to go in finish buying a country. So, you will not be surprised.
What? I mean, you buy a lot of organizing, man. Why?
All right, you must be joking with. Later, we tell you
and why do you say so?
Okay, Julius, the reading that you just did just now, where it came from the American side, it came from our government. No. So I was trying to tell you, look, now my father used to tell me this, Julius. He said when the loaner on the Maningo man here, he would take say to and go to Kanga. But every time he said put it on your head, he would say my man helping down there, I'll go here now. Meaning when they in power, they will be acting to say they know how to govern. They know the way how. And I want to tell you that to govern Julius is not a job. Even the one room that we're running to govern our place, the tension what can be on some of us is not a job. Then we're talking about country. And last thing, about the vice president. Go, Julius, when the snake now want to bite me, I'm not chikre me. Yes, so. When they see like now want to bite me and man declare me.
Why you mean by that?
I will suffer more. I try to tell the Liberian people, or even you, Julius, that thing what he was saying over there, he was just wanted to just bluff. The power is in their hand.
No, but it is a good thing for leaders to acknowledge what the problem is. They say once you know what the problem is, then you are halfway to solving it.
The only way the leader will know the truth to come out to tell all the truth when you finish solving it now to come out to tell all the truth. Someone come from the executive, he ain't coming from the port authority. That executive, they were appointed by the president. The president just called them in the evening or anytime to tell you say. Drop the thing, drop it. They will drop it. So nothing a man bluff. Okay,
thanks so kindly. That's how we will end it here. This person says, my father was killed by Alhaji Kuman's men in our presence with a cutlass. My mother is down today with a stroke due to the trauma. And the reason was that my father was the chief of the bomb mines, mine guard police. So for me, let the late Kumar family apologize to my family. If our government didn't sign that agreement, Trump would have surely trunked our government. The dependency syndrome. Charles T. Cooper says that. Let's take a very quick break. Let's speak with them at 5 p.m. We expect Representative Ernest Mansier.
Mama, who takes care of development in our country?
We all do, my baby. You see, every time we pay our taxes, we are taking care of our country, Mama Liberia. Taxes help provide clean water, safe communities, and jobs for our people. When you pay your tax, Liberia grows.
Be proud, be responsible. Pay your taxes for a better Liberia. Pay tax, we all enjoy.
Yeah.
Hey, Yakpawulo. It's new horse business. People came in here. Yeah. But well, Yakpawulo, I want to ask you, yeah? I hope you not pay your real property tax the way you just praising the horse whole day. I hope you not pay, oh.
Real property waiting? Bali, man. You get away. Let me enjoy my labor and my sweat. You know how I'm putting the horse here? Look at you. What did my horse get to do with real property tax? Or I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, Yakpawulo. But you don't know that our country law, the Liberia Revenue Code say anybody who get horse, empty land or farm land, you must pay tax on them to the Liberia Revenue Authority. They want the people can say LRA. That tax, that's what the LRA people.
I say somebody who they want to pay my labor, my sweat. You know how much I spend on the horse? $10,000 US. I get all my receipt there one by one.
See, let me people that are 10,000. Then for the whole year, you know that only 25 US dollar or the equivalent in Liberian dollar, like you will pay to the real property tax to the LRA.
Oh, don't tell me that thing there.
I'm telling you.
Just 25, huh? The money I go to my labor, papa.
$25.
But that money not plenty money, man.
You see, and the good thing is you can pay it between January 1 to June 30 every year. So that whole 6 months you get to pay that $25 on your property. What you say you spend $10,000 for $25 for that whole time.
But then I go into LRA now to go start my process. What? That's more than money. No. I think it's I can be paid so gonna $500, but $25. Man.
$25 you imagine every year. Man say I just pay my real property tax on my shop in town. My house where I get into Azon. And I also pay on that man.
Woman or man how all leading me in the tax payment penny. Real property tax. I on my way now to LRA real estate tax division to go pay my real property tax. Yeah, I want noise. More taxes, more development.
Pay tax. We all enjoy.
Indeed, welcome. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. We have with us Shine Williams, the manager for Fiscal Investigations Division at the Liberia Revenue Authority. We also have with us Sumo Kalapli, Assistant Commissioner for Professional Ethics Division at the Liberia Revenue Authority. When you see these kinds of people around, they know come and discuss something about violation and all of that. So we will be looking at the LRA's tax violation and evasion reporting platform. People can violate the payment of taxes. People can evade. You know, I usually hear people say invade. It's not invade. You don't invade taxes. You evade. There are two different words. EVADE. So evasion. EVASRON. So that's what we're going to talk about. How do you report those kinds of things? So we have with us the two authorities here. Let's go across the table and say, welcome, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for having us, Julius.
You are the...
Yeah, so I'm Shine Williams,
Okay,
and
Shine
I'm the manager for fiscal investigation at the Liberia Revenue Authority. Just to kick up, when I saw OK FM, and then I wanted to ask you, I say, so Julius, how is okay? But when I saw the tag word, everything is okay. I said, but then I don't think that's it.
It is an aspirational one. It is what we aspire to.
Okay.
Hopefully. Okay. Yeah. Welcome to, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Julius. I'm happy to be here. We are happy to be here as a team. My name is Smo Kalapli. I'm the Assistant Commissioner for Professional Ethics Division. My division is responsible to guard the ethics and integrity framework of the LRA.
Okay. Who was taking on the first question about this whole tax reporting, this tax violation and evasion reporting platform? What is the main purpose of it, and how does it strengthen tax compliance?
Okay. To begin with, so the tax violation and reporting platform, its key purpose is to, I should say, ensure compliance or to strengthen compliance of those who are potential violators of our tax or revenue code. As a matter of fact, Liberia has been affected by huge chunks of tax crime and evasion. A lot of people locally and internationally. As a matter of fact, there's a group called Tax Justice Network recently published that Liberia is losing around 151 million in corporate taxes. So, as a matter of strengthening our tax regime, this platform is going to help or assist the LRA in bringing everyone to the center where we can have a fair tax system where people can pay their lawful taxes, because obviously there are people who are paying, but there are also people who are evading taxes. So it's actually to strengthen compliance. Yeah.
So just to follow up with that, what my colleague just said, in the staggering statistics, the tax reporting platform is also geared towards ensuring that we recover the lost taxes. People who are evading taxes, when we receive information via the whistleblower platform, we are able to investigate it, and if people are found culpable, then we will recover the taxes therefrom.
Okay, so in this case, what does this reporting platform look like?
So the reporting platform is a very easy to manage platform. It is in the LRA website, www.gov.lra.lr. You go down, you navigate to a drop box down the website, and you go there and report any information that you have on tax evasion.
Okay, so just to add up, Julius, so the platform is an online one where you can easily use either your computer or your mobile phone. Is user friendly, where you will just ask 3 questions. For example, what is the case all about? Who is involved? What business is involved? Then we also ask about you anticipate a reward when you report. So basically, That's how the platform.
So you are talking about its user friendliness. How is it? But before that, where can we find it? You said because I want to try it.
So it's on the LRA website. So the website is www.lra.gov.lr. So when you log onto that, when you place that in the browser and it opens, it takes you to the home page of the LRA, and at the bottom of the home page on the right, you see whistleblowing. So you click on that menu, and then it takes you to the LRA. So when you submit the form, it generates a unique code for you, and then is the code that you use to be able to follow up on your case.
And also, Mayu, we are very keen on the anonymity of the people who are reporting on our platform. So the platform is not going to be asking you for name. It's only going to generate that unique number that we can identify you by. Up to the time when there's a recovery, then you will be identified because of your recovery.
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to go through the website to see exactly where it is. We'll come to the details of what can be reported and all that.
Yeah.
So, what are the things that people can report on this platform?
So, generally, what you want to report, what are the things that we're looking for? For example, we're looking for if someone files a false tax return, if the person or declaration, if they are concealing their income, for example. So financial transactions generally, if they are underreporting their income, if they, for example, if the business is not registered, if you're operating illegally, you're not registered, obviously we expect people to report. And those are the kind of things that we will be looking on the public to report to the LRA.
Now, you also want to add to that before I move on to the next one?
I just wanted to further add to that. The platform is also there. It's not only restricted to tax crime reporting, even though that's the core mandate of that whistleblower platform, but it's also available to report on misconduct and other acts of that are inimical to the revenue sector by the LRA employees. So if any LRA employee is involved in any collusion investigation.
So do you give feedback immediately when people report these things or what?
Exactly. So there's a feature on the platform where there is this exchange. So like you have your Facebook account, the chat box, you have also your WhatsApp. If you want to follow up on your case, once you log in with that unique code that we've given you, obviously you can ask questions, you follow up on your case, you text us as a matter of following up on the case, and then we can also reply you. And you're not going to be identified the same way. So the way you have your names, where you can, if you're chatting with someone, you see that person's name. The difference is that where you have the name is just going to be their code that we can use to identify the person who we're going to reference the person who is doing it. But there's going to be no name that we can identify. You are only recognized by that code. So you use that code to be able to follow up it on your case and get feedback.
And the reason for that is to further encourage Liberian fire and wire to be sure that whenever they are giving us information, the information is kept close to our chest and discreet. The person giving the information will not be exposed out there, because there are a lot of people who always express fear of their identity being exposed to the public. So we take keen cognizance of that to ensure that we protect our whistleblowers.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see, I'm on your platform, I'm on your website. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to see fire and pay taxes, tax education, tax
so
tools,
you go down and
tax related crime stories.
Go down, and at the bottom you will see whistleblowing.
Okay.
I think it should be at the lower right.
Yeah, you will see whistleblowing.
Okay.
So you click. While you are looking, Julius, somebody may want to know what is it? What are the things that you want to? What are some of the documents you expect to receive when we report? So we have a feature there that provides an opportunity for you to attach documents and other files as an evidence of what you're going to be reporting. So we will be looking basically at financial records. So if you have a profit or loss or audited account statements and that kind of thing,
do I need to click on something for the menu to come, or just as I get there?
No. So if you're already on the LRA website, you scroll all the way down. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page.
Okay.
And
the
then
one that looks pink.
Then you see whistle blowing.
I've seen whistle blowing.
So you click on whistle blowing, and then it takes you to that form.
Okay, so the form is here. Please show this here. So let me go back. So folks, this is the website of the LRA. For some reason, so you come down here. So you see here,
it's just at the lower right button.
So you click on whistle blowing, then the form opens. That is the form there. Okay, so I'm on the form. It says report tax violations and evasion. Report a case. No one will know you reported. 1. Provide details of the case. 2. Location and date of incident. 3. Expect a reward. Please keep your case code safe after submitting this form. You will need it to follow up on your case. So after you do all of that, then you submit.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Now, the possibility of people lying on people, especially with the third question being expect a reward being there, people could lie on people. How do you authenticate whatever information somebody gives you?
So, Julius, the LRA is a professional place, wholesome, functioning professional place with a code of, team, professional people. So the LRA is not going to be in the business to facilitate anybody lying on another person. So because of that, the Tax Investigation Division will scrupulously analyze the information coming in, sometimes through audits and the documents that my colleague talk about. They will scrutinize it and go in our system and verify all of the information coming in before an action is taken. So we'll not just jump on the information that come in and just go with it. We've got to scrutinize it, assess it, and ensure that the evidentiary, or value of it is correct and to the point.
So just to add up, Julius, so every information that is reported to the LRA is treated as suspicion. So what we do is to first, when we receive the information evidence that has been provided, and then once it is proven that indeed there is some kind of wrongdoing that is being carried out, obviously then we do a full investigation. At that point, the investigation continues, and then we inform the whistleblower that indeed the investigation is ongoing. On the contrary, if we realize that there's no wrongdoing, there's no breach of the revenue code whatsoever as per the report that was being provided, and we notice that that is false, we close the case, and then we inform the whistleblower that indeed this case is closed, and then we've not seen any semblance of wrongdoing whatsoever. The thing about it
in that case, do you have measures
public.
in place to address false or malicious reporting?
So remember that the report is obviously no way any business whatsoever can be harmed in that respect, because it's not going to be made public. Yeah.
Do you have dedicated contact numbers, email addresses that are available for reporting tax crimes to the area apart from this?
So we'll try as much as possible to secure the identity of the identities of those who are going to be reporting. We're on our obligation to do that, and so what we've done is to provide an opportunity such that people's identities are actually secured. One of the reasons why phone calls and all of that hasn't been, although it's been work relations and things, people tend to be afraid that it will be reprimanded by either their institutions or wherever they work. So having realized that, we thought to just do a platform where we create this opportunity where people can remain anonymous, and then they can report whatever violation that they've seen or noticed or suspected. We don't have dedicated numbers specifically for reporting tax crime, except for the platform. But in terms of if maybe you saw misconduct, maybe with an employee or something like that within the LRA, obviously.
So, Julius, on the flip side of that, my colleague just outlined the issue that has to do with telephone when it comes to the tax crime. But on the flip side of that, when the issue comes up concerning employee misconduct, we got numbers that we can read to the public to report appropriately, and the appropriate decisions will be taken. And the numbers are 0886 517061.
Take it easy.
0886 517061 or 0777 517061.
And these ones are for reporting of employees who may behave otherwise.
Yes, sure. Because as you are aware, the LRA is an integrity institution, so we place high premium on ethics and integrity. So we are encouraging the public to also report misconduct on the side of the employee. In as much as we are asking people to report tax crime, we also want to hold our employees fit to the fire to do the right thing.
In this case, I want us to go over the measures that are in place to protect the identity and safety of whistleblowers who report tax violations and act of evasion, and also if there are legal protections or incentives for such individuals who would voluntarily report these kinds of things.
Okay, so I take the first one in terms of the measures that I put in place. One of the measures, is to ensure that those who report are not identified either by phone numbers or by phone calls or email addresses or whatever. We try as much as possible to secure their identities. So this is why a personal identity, that's your ID. It's like you have an ID number on your ID card. So it is that ID number that you are identified by. So in that respect, it's difficult for us to know who we're talking with, although we know that the person we're talking with is a whistleblower, but your identity is protected. That's one of the major measures we've taken to ensure that. Then also when you report, all reports that are provided to the platform, confidentiality is high. We ensure that the framework that we have internally protects any information from getting out there. So once you report to the LRA, you can be ensured that that information is secure 100% and it's not going to get out there to the public. So there's the
what about legal?
Okay, so the legal framework that is in place is simply, so if you look at our whistleblower law, if you look at section 12, 10 and 12 provides the protection for whistleblowers, those who are going to be providing information that you against reprisals and other forms of unfair actions that may be taken against employees or wherever you are working. So that also you are protected under that arrangement. Then internally, for reporting, you are also protected based on the fact that your identity is not disclosed, except where the only way your identity may be disclosed is when we get to the point where there's a possible where we've recovered whatever amount that was recovered from the whole investigation, where you will now be given 5% of the net of what is recovered, though it's taxable. At that point, obviously, you will have to lose your identity because we will need to know who this money is going to, which account are we sending the money to, whether it's by mobile money or whether it's going to be through a banking system. That means your identity will have to be disclosed. But also,
so the receiving of incentive or compensation whatsoever would be dependent on the true nature of your case.
Exactly.
And after some recovery has been made.
Yeah, then you get 5% of that recovery net of that amount. But that amount.
So for example, you blew whistle on $100,000. You get payment after the amount is recovered.
Yes.
Why if the whistle that is blown proves that there is a case, it is true, but why if the LRA, I know there will be court processes and all that kind of thing, cannot recover that amount?
Yeah, that should be communicated fully to the whistleblower. That's why we are in the public space.
That means that the person won't get anything.
where if the revenue is not recovered, what the essence of where do we take the money from to give it to the whistleblower? So that's why full disclosure is always important.
No, but what if it is because of a problem from the end of the LRA, because the whistleblower did their job, and it is proven by you, that some kind of money was taken from here and blah blah blah. So what you put in place is what will recover the money, right?
Sure. That's why we are committed to doing the right thing, to following the money to the tail end. Trust me. Once the evidence is preponderance, the LRA will do everything possible to ensure that we recover that money. Yeah.
What other strategies are you using to raise public awareness apart from coming to us, to radio stations? What other things are you doing so that people are aware of this?
So, as a matter of fact, we are gearing up to transverse the entire country and work also with the local government authorities to ensure that we educate them on the issue of reporting tax crime and other violations within the LRA. So we are going to travel to every part of Liberia to take the message to the Liberians and our foreign residents alike, so that they can get to know the importance of blowing the whistle and also the importance of recovering the lawful revenue for the people of Liberia.
So just to add to that, Julius, we also intend to collaborate with civil society organizations when they are on their missions or whatever they are. We'll print in flyers. They can assist us when in their meetings and all of that, to be able to share around the country. We're already in contact or collaboration with other government agencies that have been very useful in helping us roll out this process.
And the mere fact that before the advent of this platform, we were using the traditional method for people to, call in and give us information on tax crime. And we saw the enthusiastic nature of the Liberian people willing to give LRA information to ensure that we recover the lost revenue. Because if we are able to collect all the lawful revenue, we will be able to support the government social deliverables for the people of Liberia.
So, before we go to the lines, as a mere mortal, as an ordinary person, how will I know, for example, that this person is evading taxes or they're not paying the taxes they're supposed to pay, to be able to report that?
So there are a number of things that we've written that is in the code that obligates taxpayer to conform to. So, for example, you are to file a tax return. So if you are filing a false tax return or declaration, for example, obviously we expect that to be reported. If the person is concealing,
so that means if someone spies that kind of thing and they think they get evidence,
exactly, that one you're going to report it to the LRA. Okay. If the person is concealing their income, that means they are hiding it. So maybe the person
could be working at the place.
Maybe the person, maybe there are some business that may have maybe 2 bank accounts, for example, and they are just showing the LRA just one bank account, but then the other
and the beneficial owners are carrying the other.
And they're hiding it. So that kind of thing, we really appreciate it. If the person under-reporting their income, right? If the person, for example, keeping 2 set of books, okay, one for their internal use, then the other one for the LRA, and so they are such that they can under-report. Those are the kind of things that we're talking about.
And accountants are very key to this process, because they are out there, they know the inner working of the various businesses and entities. So we also encourage them to come forward with information when they are available.
This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. We're hosting some authorities from the Liberia Revenue Authority. 777-700-995, 555-995-995, the numbers to call. We are discussing a platform for you to report nefarious revenue paying activities or some human beings from LRA that may not be doing the right thing. We have on the line Maswell Grisby. Welcome.
Good evening, Julius.
Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you.
thanks to the folks in studio. This is a very highly professional conversation, so I thought to lend in my contribution.
Mm-hmm.
So Section 19A and B of the Revenue Code talks about whistleblowing and reporting. There are 3 key elements, and I wish the studio guests can elaborate on that. For reporting purposes, there's an exception. So if Julius J report tax evasion, 19A and B says for whatever tax that is recovered, he can get up to 10%, not to exceed 10%. LRA is saying 5%, which is within the 10%, but you realize that they've not promulgated the regulation. Some of the things he's talking about, everything will not be in the law. So one of the exceptions is that if you work for government of Liberia, if you're an officer of the government of Liberia and you report tax evasion, you can't get that money that is recovered. So that's a key point. So it's in the law. So let me get my point that you and still just can continue.
Yeah, but that you I want to ask.
Okay, so, I actually
why will encourage the government people to report now?
The government have obligation. Okay. You work for the government, you have obligation. So, you know, and you most of the people in the government, they sign code of conduct. They have a duty to the government of Liberia.
Okay.
So that's one of the exceptions. But generally, with the exception of government officer or other person get, the law say up to 10%. Okay. So I'm hearing 5%. Maybe a regulation has been promulgated. My advice to the team is that if they've not promulgated the regulation, they have to do that, and they can do a staggering term of benefit. For instance, if somebody report and you recover up to 50,000, you could say, you know, or 10%. Because you're starting, you want to encourage more people. The more money, if you recover up to $1 million, it's 2%, because the higher the money, you know, the lower the percentage. But I think 5%, you know, is something you want to review. Generally, this is good for Liberia. There's so much, you know, honor declaration across the country. There's so much tax evasion. The work you're doing is at the heart of the country. So we want to congratulate all of you and wish you all the best. We are here to support whatever way we can.
Okay. Might as well grace with that. You can just jot down the points. Let me take more calls on 777-700-995, 555-995-995. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, go ahead.
The South I don't want to come on.
Yeah?
It is about whistle blow. I don't want to come on me now.
Okay. Oh, you just want to start blowing whistle straight?
No, not blowing whistle, but I like to go where if I come on me that.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
So let me ask you that. People who real estate, the people renting for them, they are paying rent, and they are not making 40, or they're not paying. I think they're going to be making it to control that. If I'm a tenant, and I go that way so that my landlord is not reducing my 10% to government. Will you do a follow-up? Line up the rest of my interview that partner with me.
Okay. I'm sure they will address that. Yep, let's take more calls. 777-700-995, 555. Now call and ask so you can know and be informed. Let me see some of the comments that have come in before I go to them to address. We're discussing you reporting some of the bad things that can happen. Okay, you want to address the ones that come in so far before I get to the messages. Okay, let me take this one first. Welcome, let's hear you.
Thank you, Julius, and thank you to the studio guests. I'm working here calling from Pantari, LC. So let me explain to us. The Central Morovia horses owners are very dear to tenants, and they charge people per year. The money is being paid to the land, to the horse owner. Are they paying to government real estate tax? If nothing is done, then I want them to put mechanism in place, because all this single area, you see, apartment, one room apartment, people paying $100 per month. Year tax penalty too. So what really going to government?
So if you are aware of some of them, can you report them?
Yeah, but if they give us a chance, we have some receipts.
Okay. Okay, no, that we'll come to you. Thanks so kindly. Let's take this one. Welcome, let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, go ahead. What's your name?
Thanks for also your studio guest. You know, Gia, I just want to make my contribution. You know, to pay taxes in the country is important. But I have to do a nation building, bring development. But then I also want to know the other system. When people pay tax, and then at the end of the year, they got something called tax return. I mean,
no, leave that thing. That's not how it works. The board not can explain that thing every time. That tax refund you're talking about, when you pay all your taxes and you pay more than what you're supposed to pay, then they can send you your other money back. Now when you send your tax return and they look at it and say, oh, the person pay more, then they can send your money back. They can do in other countries.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for the clarity.
Okay,
and
thanks.
Thanks to our studio guest too.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Welcome, let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good afternoon, Julius. This is Ben Carter calling from Fishtown River G.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say thanks to your studio guest, but I had a question for them because there are some of their workers, you know, they have sharp interest, and because they sharp are not paying taxes to the Liberian government, but what they do is they get the people all the necessary documents and money they go and collect things for themselves. So how can we report such a case? Because they're there, they just get them the flare receipt, whatsoever document they give it to them, but they will get the money in kind to them.
Okay, thanks so kindly. They will address that. Let's go back to them now. Let's squeeze this one in. Welcome, let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Joe calling from Manjibi. Yeah, for me, I overheard them talking about, because you came with a figure, you said when somebody pay a house that costs 10,000, how much would be the tax? So I just want to know, just for some of us that maybe have our one room would be cost about 1,500 or 2,000, how much would it cost for your tax? We need to know all those things because some of us have interest in paying our taxes.
Okay, thanks so kindly. I'm not sure that's why they're here, but yep, let's go back to them now. You heard the different concerns.
So let me just address the concern about the ethical side that the second to the last caller just alleged. We are open to receiving information on staff ethical breaches. Be assured that whenever this report comes to us, we take key interest in it. The LRA is a place that we hold our staff to a very high standard when it comes to ethics and integrity. So please, I will announce the number again. You said you got evidence of our collectors out there giving people receipt and receiving items in kind. We are not supposed to receive even cold water as LRA employees. Report it on 0886 517061 0777 517061, and you will see our reaction to whosoever is held culpable. Will punish them duly as per our professional ethics code of conduct. Thank you.
Okay, so just to respond to Maxwell, in terms of the differences in the percentages when it comes to the code, and then so for the revenue code, it's up to 10%. So we stay within that range. The 5% is actually from the Whistleblower Protection Act. So
okay.
Yeah, so there is the 5%.
So then I guess those both portions have to be coalesced in such a way that they're not.
Exactly.
They are not conflicting.
Yeah. So we take cognizant of Maxwell's recommendation, and I think we're going to work on it. But for now, I think we will stay in the frame of the law, since it's up to 10%, and then the the Act provides that 5% be provided for whistleblowers.
Is that all?
Then I think there was another call with real estate. In terms of
concerning remittances
people who are
rental
collecting
income.
their rent, but they are not remitting the taxes to the government. Yeah, the same way. So you have to report to the LRA, use the platform you report. Once you report that issue, obviously you can be assured that we're going to go after the taxes. Yeah.
Okay. So far so good. What are your parting comments? Let's start with you and we end with him.
I would like to further encourage our citizenry to take advantage of the whistleblower tax reporting system, crime reporting system, and also, report on acts that are inimical to the revenue committed by the LRA staff. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Our domestic revenue envelope, we all know, is small. Besides, international aids are dwindled, and there is a need that we put more attention on domestic revenue mobilization, and by that it means that we need to collect the lawful taxes that are due the country in order that we can aid our social service programs in health, education, and the rest, such that the people of Liberia can benefit from their lawful taxes. We encourage you to report. Use the platform as much as possible. Your identity will always be protected. No one will know you reported. If you see it, report it.
Okay. If you see it, report it. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. We have with us Shine Williams, Manager for Fiscal Investigations Division of the Liberia Revenue Authority, and Sumo Kalapli, Assistant Commissioner for Professional Ethics Division there as well at the LRA. Let's take a very quick break. Next up will be Representative N.F. Smansia of Nimba County. This break.
Your favorite RLJ Kendeja Resort and Villas is new and improved with top-notch first-class services guaranteed to make you feel pampered and special as our royal guests. Ideally located on the RI Highway, a few minutes drive from the rehab junction, right in front of the Atlantic Ocean, you are assured of a peaceful, serene atmosphere of a home away from home. The ingredients for our Liberian meals are freshly picked from our garden to give you that unforgettable taste of Liberian cuisine. Our villas are designed and equipped to ensure every night spent with us is a memorable one. We are well positioned to host conferences and seminars of all sizes, as well as outdoor events like garden weddings and parties. Book your upcoming events and leave the rest for us to handle with 100% satisfaction guarantee. You can reach us on 0770-533-415 or email us at reservations@kendejaresort.com.lr. Visit our website on www.rljkendejaresort.com.lr. RLJ Kendeja Resort and Villas, for memories worth repeating.
Attention, attention, attention to all lovers of the good things in life. A house is not a home, and a home is the one place where you should feel relaxed and accomplished. Your home should reflect who you are. So, it's time to make that upgrade with minimal damage to your pockets. And I have the perfect solution for you. Home Sweet Home, located on Benson Street, between Center and Buchanan Streets, got you covered. From the kitchen, we have air fryers, juice makers, pressure cookers, freezers of all sizes, and all the modern kitchenwares you can think about. From the bedroom, we have top-of-the-line, exquisite beddings to give you that great night's sleep because you have earned it, and soft, comfortable towels for your bathroom. And in the living room, we have high-definition TV sets of all sizes, unique aerial rugs, classy curtains in all the colors you desire, wall paintings of different sizes and colors, furniture, and everything you can think about for the home. All that at unbelievable prices. We even have low voltage, high quality washing machines and dryers to keep your clothes fresh and new at all times. As a bonus, we have fashion accessories for both the young and the old, designer quality bags, hats, and rare juice. So if you love yourself, your family, and your home, it's time to treat it right. Visit Home Sweet Home on Benson Street between Center and Buchanan Streets for that needed upgrade. You can call them on 0886 834 944 or 0770 581 420. Home Sweet Home, for the love of a classy home.
The final lap right here. The OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. Today is the birthday of our own Jacqueline Woos, our businesswoman here. Yep, today is her birthday. Happy birthday to you, Jackie. You know, it's not easy to do with financial people. People in the financial offices, it's going to be easy. Also, Eric Kennedy, big brother there in the U.S. Today is his birthday as well. Happy birthday to you, sir. Clarence has informed me that tomorrow he will be having a debate on the show from 8 to 10, 2 hours between Martin Colley and Wanto Tie Wanto. So it is something to look out for. William Smith with Breathe. No matter what you're going through, even if things are tough, just breathe. I know it's tough, but you're gonna get through it. If your landlord is after you right now and they want to rent, if you're sick, you're in hospital, if you have opportunities that are trying to slip you by, everything seems to be working against you, hope is becoming gone. Just breathe. Cause things gonna working out slow, it's alright. I know you're gonna be alright. I know right now you're kind of losing hope, and you don't wanna do this life no more. Please breathe, you breathe, breathe, you breathe. I know it's tough for you. I know that you're gonna get through. Breathe, breathe, breathe. I know it's getting hard. I know that you're gonna survive. Breathe. Yes, indeed. Let's breathe, all of us. Okay, our guest has been here. He's been here enjoying the song as well. He doesn't look like someone who knows anything about music, but that's okay. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Do you know about music?
You didn't know I've been in the choir before.
Which of the churches?
I'm a member of the China-Liberia Church.
Okay,
so
that's
Episcopal Church.
Oh.
Evangelical, rather.
Okay, yeah.
It's an evangelical church.
Yeah, evangelical, the Holy Ghost fire kind of churches. Yeah. So which tune do you sing?
I used to sing in tenor.
Okay.
How they call it? Yeah, tenor and then soprano.
Soprano?
Yeah.
It's difficult to see a male to sing soprano. It's usually females.
Yeah, no. Alto is basically the most regular tune for the female, and then tenor is the male, and then soprano. It's just a matter of how you position your tone. So you can sing in soprano.
So you want to try some more thing?
I don't think that's what I've come. I've been quite a bit of time now. I stopped singing, but just to tell you that I know a little bit about music.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Now, how is life? How is everything going?
Yes, we are fine by the grace of God. We've been up and down here and there, but on the overall, we are good.
Part of the reason I like to call you here is your previous role. you know something about the things that are on the ground. So when we're having discussions around those, I feel that you're one of those who should really be at the forefront, especially legislatively speaking. But before we go there, let's go into your county. You from district number
4, Nimba County.
Are you from MDR too?
Yeah, I'm from MDR.
And you people are supporting?
From our primary is Kennedy Koto Kragu, who will be contesting on the MDR ticket in district number 5. I guess you want to talk about the district number 5 by election.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
And so that means all of you are carrying your weight again.
Definitely. This is our party, and we are on an obligation to support any person or any candidate the party bring forth.
Obviously, you will say he has favorable chances. I really don't know the individual, and I may not know who all are contesting, but do you see it like it is going to be a tough race? Or?
Yeah, it's going to be a very tough race. You have a lot of qualified young guys in the process, from my understanding. Most of them with a lot of experiences, with good qualification.
And also embedded with their people there.
Embedded with their people. But the good thing about our candidate who having to be on Rokwagu is that since the 2017, that's it, since the 2023 elections, he has been always with the people on different campaign activities. So it gives him a better chance in terms of his frequency with the people, in terms of his activities across the district. So we feel that I think he still has a chance as compared to most of the other people.
In this case, it becomes a different style of politics. It is not tribal again because everybody's...
This is a very local politics.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that happened there is that every chief don't try to present a candidate of their choice. But from the look of things, I think our candidate cut across basically the entire district.
Well, let me push you on this one. This is Senator Koga's favorite. The vice president seems to want to favor somebody else. Is that report true?
These are basically rumors and speculations that try to pull the lead of the leaders of the party. But on the overall, every institution may have some internal wrangling, but it is not a material matter that we're going to discuss on the radio. As it stands, the MDR party has only one candidate. So all of us, whether you don't agree with the man, whoever you don't agree with, or whoever you agree with, everyone is on the obligation to support the candidate of the party.
Will we see the vice president on the campaign trail like
we have advised, many of us have advised the vice president to stay away from the by-election because this is the local election. You are the vice president of the country. We are not talking about
but he was
county.
but he was visible.
But the county is something else. Well, we had a lot of other people there to take care of this one. So the vice president, we are telling
his hand or not to go against his will. So perhaps I'm sensing that the compromise is even if you're not in favor of this person, you're in favor of this other person, just stay away. Let the two person go for it.
Yeah, there are many of them in the process. And one thing that happened over there too, that even jammed the both leaders is that during the just ended by-election, all of the candidates who contested against Koga, they all form a group. They call themselves former aspirant of district number 5. And so all of them, they supported Koga. I think so far it was just one person who never supported Koga, and that person is not in this by-election. So almost everyone that is contesting right now in the by-election, from my understanding, they all support Senator Koga.
So will you people ask him to stay away, Koga?
It is his district. This is where he comes from. So one thing we expect of him is to play that fatherly role. But wherein it requires him giving direction to his people, I don't think it will be an issue.
Okay. Have you sensed opposition supporting anybody there?
Anyway, I'm not from district number 5, but we've been following the activities. We see the other guys are fighting individual battle. Everyone wants the support of the senator. Everyone wants the support of the caucus. So over there, it's not about opposition and imposition. It's just about everybody doing their own thing at the end of the day. But I've not heard of any major opposition grouping going for any candidate.
And then what I'm sensing is there was an issue with the VP and the senator, and of course the VP is backing off from the process, right?
No, I don't think there was any major issue. In fact, there was any issue. When election process comes, everybody try to seek favor. And in fact, those names you are hearing, they were all names. Sometimes few of them on the VP side. Some of these people have been personally working for the VP. Some of them have been also very close to the senator. So everybody tried, like I said, everybody tried to pull their legs to say, okay, this is the person the senator going to support. This is the person the VP going to support. But for me, it was not a major issue actually.
Okay. Good. I hope I can get Senator Koga soon on this one. Yeah, let me see where he is going. How is he handling all of this thing? Because
the senator is going to support the candidate of the party.
Yeah, I want to still find out some things. Okay, now coming to Adesha before we come to the main reason that I'll call you. You came from the county. Did you come from Adesha?
No, I've been like a month now.
Okay.
Since I came back from the States, I have not been in the district.
Okay.
But I plan to go in the district this weekend.
Okay, good. Coming to one of the biggest things in your county, for any portion of the county you hear about is ArcelorMittal. Their current deal should expire 5 years from now, I believe. Am I right?
Yeah, I think the first deal was signed 2005, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's 25 years.
It's 25 years.
Yeah, so that's 2030.
So we are in the 20th year of their deal.
Good. Why are we already clamoring for a new deal?
It's required.
Okay.
We are not the one. It is the company. If you leave it all, we're not going to ask Mittal to say, "Can't renew your deal." They are the ones who are seeking for the renewal or the extension or whatever you call it.
And so it means they are doing it ahead of time, way before the expiration.
They are business people. If they want to wait until the expiration, fine. But there are legal provisions that bound them to do this thing at certain point in time. So if they decide not to, and the MDA give them the option to renew or not to renew, so they are not under obligation, and we are not asking them. So they are doing what they think is good for their business.
And this has been going on for years. I know 2021, 2022, these discussions about the renewal of the deal, they've been into place. There have been controversies here and there, different groupings, different interests, and all of that. I know recently the caucus released a statement about its disapproval. Let me give you some time to give us, we on the outside, to give us an actual understanding of where the caucus sits on this matter, and you as a person, as a lawmaker.
Yeah, so the caucus position has been clear. From time immemorial, the caucus position has been the position of our Nimba people. And even during that time, 2021, when you just mentioned, there was a resolution that was drafted by councils of our citizens, the elder council, the CSO, the youth, and everybody in the place, demanding certain things to be done. Other than that, we should reject Mittal for the whole heaven. We have just been asking Mittal to do what is enshrined in the MDA. We see that, and in fact, everyone knows how Mittal have been operating in this country. Let me just give you, some little overview. When you go through the Mittal MDA, Mittal told the government to be producing 1.1 million ton of iron ore. Year 2, 2.5 million ton. And by this time, meaning from year 7 upward, Mittal by now supposed to be producing 18.5 metric ton of iron ore. But then, look at Mittal report for the last 5 years. The highest they have submitted or they have reported to us is 5.1 million ton in 2020. From 2020 up to now, Mittal has been reporting below 1.5 million ton. Let me say below 5 million tons.
It's a self-reporting.
Yeah, this is what they submit to the government.
So that means the government doesn't have the capacity to know whether.
It's not because government don't have the capacity. The ministry will respond to that, but from my understanding, the ministry used to have somebody there as the head of the government. I don't know how they are going about doing it now, but these reports are prepared by Minta and submitted to both the ministry, or let's say land agency, like the MBC, the Ministry of Mines and Energy, and even the legislature. And some of the things that have been happening is that just in the most recent report, the figures Minta is submitting to the legislature is sometimes different from the figure being submitted to the ministry. Yeah. Like, take for example the 2024 annual report that was submitted. Minta is telling the Ministry of Mines and Energy last year they shipped 1.9 million tons of ore. And they are telling the legislature they shipped 3.5 million tons. So there are a lot of issues that we have with Minta. Not because somebody have personal issue with them, but we are just telling Minta, go by what is on the paper.
Why is it?
Another thing again.
Let us clear out this point about the self-reporting on what they take away annually.
Yeah.
Why is it important to know the actual tonnage taken away? Why is that significant?
It's important because it's based on the tonnage you report. The government will either get profit at the end of the year or not.
Okay.
It also depends on the amount of royalty you pay to the government. So it has tax implication.
Okay.
Right? But all along the land, Minta have been reporting losses. So that means the guy is here working in your country. From the beginning, you say, okay, when you take 5 tons, you take your if you spend $100 there, you sell it for $120, you take your $100 from there, the $20 owe it to or divide it. But the man always come back to you and say, I spent $120, and what I got this year, I sold it for the same $120. So that means you got nothing there.
So that's what has been
happening. So
happening.
that is the implication.
Oh, now this is a more simplistic way of understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I have been hearing that, okay, Minta says they usually have losses.
Yes.
And so they're not able to pay the government's portion, all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Now I'm understanding how it works.
And so, yeah, that's the very simple way in a layman term to understand why when they say Minta been reporting losses, because when you report the losses, it means whatever small thing the government is supposed to get, when you take off your operation costs or the money you spend beyond your activities, when you take it from there, anything that leak over you and the government divides some kind of small portion. But this time around, Minta has been reporting that, okay, whatever they've been spending or what they have been selling over the period of time is equal to what they've been spending behind their activities. So as a result, government don't got nothing.
But it becomes important for there to be some kind of verification of the tonnage that leave the country.
Oh yes, these are some of the issues we are trying to push this time around. Because the first thing here is that the MDA have been passed. It's a law. You cannot go and just unilaterally undo it. The only way to undo anything that you are not satisfied with in the MDA is to bring it back like the way it's coming back. This is what we want. And this is what we want it to be in the document going forward.
Okay. Now, at this point, you in the legislature have been inviting them, and whether they've been giving excuses or not, they are not showing up. But you also wanted to bring up more points.
Yeah, so I was talking about the issues we have. And in time past, like I said, the caucus position have been the position of the citizen. What are some of the positions? I think one time when I came here, I told you about the Minta concession area.
Yeah.
Some of the issues we have is that we carved out the entire northern portion of Nimba. We said this is the concession area for the state of Minta. In this concession area, you have other minerals like diamond, another mineral there that we call graphite, and other minerals there. But you have all of these places on the Minta concession area. And what does the concession agreement say? It says Minta should go about and search all over in this place and declare a production area, meaning you have this whole house. So check all over in the rest of the room and see
Enter the
whether
room
you
that
got
you want.
anything that you like in those rooms. If you don't like anything in the other room, fine, you can give it out. But since Minta agreement was signed in 2005 and they declared a production area where they have been mining the Mongangra, the Tokade, the Yiliton, where they've been focusing on, there is nowhere that ArcelorMittal have gotten one exploration, license for the past 20 years. So it means you get this whole house, you tell the government tells you, say, we're giving you this house. For now, check all over in the house and tell us where you want in this house. But then you came, you selected this room, you're sitting down in this room. The rest of the other room there, we got other things in those rooms that you don't need. But you don't want to also release the house to us. So we have other minerals in these areas that Minta need to release it to the government. The fact that you have selected a production area, focus on where you want and leave the other portion of it. So this is not Minta's fault because it's the fault of the agreement. So this is one of the reasons. These are some of the points our people have been pushing, right? So Minta has showed us all the government, the production area, where they want, where their iron ore is. The rest of the area, we could get 2-3 Mintas at that area as we speak. If you release those areas from Minta control, you could get another 2-3 Mintas in that area right now. I can guarantee that.
On the other
other side, the law also said the same agreement we're talking about. I just want to flag out some of the major issues, and we will still go back to it. The law also says that by this time, because we are already in the 15 year now of the 20 year of the concession agreement, the law says by this time, the senior managerial positions at ArcelorMittal, 90% of it should be given to Liberians. Right now, as we speak, even the Minta own self-report, they're submitting both to the legislature and the government. They are reporting about 60%. Why up to now you are not able to employ up to 90%? You know the excuse Minta have been giving? We don't have qualified people. But yet you have 200,000 under your control on a scholarship fund that you've been sending Liberians to go for study. And what they have been cleverly doing is, Minta is a mining company. They will give scholarship to you, Julius, to go do journalism. When you come, you got no job there. So at the end of the day, how do you expect to get your 90% Liberians, trained professionals to occupy the top managerial position that the law calls for? Who is monitoring Minta scholarship activities? We have bulk of students, let me say bulk of people from Nimba who are benefited from this scholarship. Today, Minta got no positions to give them there because the law gives them the right to just send people to school. But the law equally says that you should train these people so that they will be able to take over the company. So if you keep telling us that you don't have trained Liberians to occupy this position, but yet you keep telling us you're giving scholarship to people. So you know that in this room where we're sitting, you only need somebody to hold the phone. So you're sending me for scholarship, or you want to train me to come in this room and work with you, you should send me to go learn how to hold a phone. Because that is the only way, the only one position I get, that's the only way I'm going to hold it. But you send me out there without any orientation, without any direction, the man go and do anything, you come back, he's still sitting down in the waiting room there because the only space that here is for somebody who is able to hold the camera. So this is what Minta have been using to deprive our people of the provisions and some of the positions and the jobs they're supposed to be occupying right now at ArcelorMittal.
We have not even come to the local issues on the ground.
No, yeah, I'm just trying to bring up some of the major things, within the MDA. So, but my main issue with Minta right now is the ground they are occupying. Like you said, I'm somebody who knows a little bit about the ground.
Mhm.
So one of my primary concern for this extension that coming, the social activities, the other people will talk about it, the other things, the fiscal aspect of it, the other people will talk about it. But my area is the ground.
Mhm.
I
So,
will not.
let us because the other time you were here, you whetted our appetite a little bit about that area and what other things could be found there. First of all, is the fact that is the government willing to make the demand that hey, declare your production area and we take our other land back and do what we're supposed to do with it?
So this is the weakness of the agreement. In the agreement, Minta is not under obligation that at this point you're supposed to relinquish 10%, 50%, 30% of the area we're giving you.
Okay.
So they left that at the discretion of Minta. So they have been using that very well for themselves. So they have been sitting down in one area, year in, year out, and not expanding their operation, but holding onto the ground that if by now, if it were those grants were released to government, we could have 2-3 of Minta operations right now in Nimba County.
Because I know that was an issue between them and one other company that wanted to take one of the other mines, Solway.
Yeah, Solway.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the issue. So Solway is on the far west of where Minta is operating currently. That mountain has been there since 2005 when Minta took over. They are not put one drilling machine there until Solway came and took that place. When Solway took it now, Solway started developing the communities started appreciating the activities of Solway. The Minta came and said, no, this place is in our area. You give us the whole house. This place, you cannot put another person here. But you've been here for the past 20 years. What you been doing? We gave you the house. Yes, we agree. But what you been doing with the house? And now people expect Nimba to celebrate because Minta is claiming that they have invested $1.4 billion in a concentrated plant. Let me just say again in a very local man language so that other people who listening to us will understand. Why is it that we should not celebrate Minta quote unquote $1.4 billion investment? It's the same example I gave you today about the house. I gave you the whole house, you occupying the whole house. Instead of cleaning around this house, you beautify your room, and then you tell me why I'm not happy for you beautifying your own room. Yeah. So Minta is simply beautifying the room they are occupying, forgetting about the surrounding of the house. So why we should be happy? We are concerned about our whole house. But you are sitting down in one room.
They say that will make them to give some jobs to the other people in the other rooms so they can beautify their own rooms.
So you know what they say? They say when they build that plant, they will produce 20 million metric ton per annum. But you told us from the beginning that by this time you're supposed to be producing 18 million metric ton per annum. Without building that thing you build, you say it worth 1.4 billion. So what has changed? That you are not been producing. So you cannot hold us on your $1.4 billion investment. Because you told us even without this thing, you were still going to be producing what you're telling us you produce today.
Let us go to the land area. Apart from iron ore, some of those other places that they are not working but that are under their controls. What are some other things that are there?
One of the minerals in that area is called graphite. The graphite, if you look over the map of Nimba, where Minta is operating currently, on the upper left corner of that, you have Guinea there, where you have Lola. Those of you who've been to Guinea, you have Lola right around that border. Right now, you have one of the highest production of graphite in Guinea, right at that border. And this mineral is extending into that portion of Liberia through Yekipa there. And where it's extending right around the Lugbai belt there, within the same Minta concession area. There were some companies sometime back, they took the place, but because of the same concession area provision in the MDA, they were forced to leave the country. I worked sometime back where they have the the Nimba Echo Lodge Coronet. Over that hill.
I went there. Yeah.
If you get to Nimba Echo Lodge where they have the deep cut over there, we call it the Sika Valley. When you get to Sika, the stress of our diamond occurrences in Nimba, it comes from within Nimba through Bapa along the Yah River going down. This is the only area in Nimba that you can find diamond mining activities. This place is also on a Minta agreement. Let me say Minta MDA. How can we get other people, other investment to come and develop these resources so that we get jobs, more jobs for our citizens?
Let me read a bit about it. Graphite is a naturally occurring crystalline allotrope of carbon known for its soft, opaque, and metallic occurrences. Natural, it is found in metamorphic rocks like marble, schist, and gneiss. Using pencils. The lead in pencils is actually graphite mixed with clay. Lubricants used in high temperature and dry lubrication applications. Batteries, key component in lithium-ion batteries, especially in electric vehicles.
Yep.
Refractory materials used in high temperature applications due to its resistance to heat. Electrical components used in electrodes, brushes for electric motors and other electrical applications. Other found in brake linings, friction materials, and other industrial applications. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it
it's
has
a very important commodity right now for technology. And you heard about the lithium battery.
Yeah.
The
EVs
lithium battery is
the whole
taking
of
over
China,
the technology now.
All of China, you see a whole lot of
All the
EVs.
solar panel you're using now, the most guaranteed solar panel battery is a lithium iron. So these are what we got. And today, Minta have been sitting on it for the past 20 years.
And they are not mining those things.
No. The concession agreement is solely and squarely for iron ore. So you cannot mine those other minerals or other commodities. If you take it, it's illegal.
And besides, it will require different processes to
some of them
to mine them.
Some of them will require different processes to mine them. But the interesting thing about the graphite is you mine also in bulk, like the same way you mine the iron ore. There are some area of it that you can just take it like the way you take in the DSO content of it or other impurities. You could also require processing it the same way Minta have been operating.
Wow. Okay. What are other minerals?
Diamond.
Is it possible that these companies mining in these iron ore areas, they could see diamond and take it without us knowing?
Sometimes. Maybe on a small scale.
Okay.
Yeah. If you drill, if you are lucky to just see it, you can take it. But it's not something that you're going to do it at an industrial scale, because it also requires some processing and all of that. So except you see it on the surface and just pick it, or when you just see it in the rock and pick it up, but they are not stuck just like that in the rock.
Okay.
It will require you busting the whole rock and, at a bigger scale before you can get them collected. So as it is, the case right now, it's just there. They are not mining it. To the best of my understanding, they are not mining it. Some of them is being used as waste.
So that place is huge. When you're driving there, that's when you know
it's huge. The entire Minta area is about 521 square kilometer area. That is almost more than Monrovia. And guess what? Some of the issues we have with the concession, with the MDA. Government told Minta to pay $200,000 in surface rental for the first 2 years. Beyond the first 2 years, they have been paying $300,000 for surface rental fees. And you have other concessions like B Mountain. B Mountain is paying $4.50 per acres. Now convert 521 square 5 cents. That means $4.5. So by now, since you want to hold on to our whole ground, at least be paying something commensurable to the surface rent as compared as what the other people are doing as well.
Maybe that would have made them to give us some of the area if they know that they're paying too much money.
Yeah, if you know that you're paying too much money, you will not keep 521 square kilometer area. So this time around, these are things that we feel that it should be inserted if by any chance we have to extend the entire MDA, these are things that we will make sure that they are within the agreement. If we can't see them there, then we will have issue whether we should extend or we should sign or not.
So it is good having people like you up Capitol Hill, because when you look at the first agreement, the time it was signed, we just came from war. A government needed concessions to come in. Perhaps the kind of expertise at the time to check on some of these things was not there. Now that we know what we know and all these kinds of things, how are your colleagues of Capitol Hill and then in the executive? Because you would hear the president praising Metal, you hear other people praising them without these kinds of deep understandings. This is just one angle, and this one angle alone blows a whole lot of people away.
If you also, if you got a revenue person to come and tell you the tax implication, how much the country is losing to Metal in taxes, you will also be surprised. I'm just talking about just one aspect of the agreement.
So how are you all going to push our capital to ensure that if this will be renewed, that this whole land thing, we have to look at it?
So what has happened with other concession, we understand that at the time this agreement was signed, we have a lot of challenges as country, and we needed to get people, we needed to get people attention. By attracting a world giant steel company, it gives other people the confidence that yes, Liberia is a country that I can also go. With the coming of Minta, I also called on that what brought the like of BHP Billiton in this country. The likes of Valley and a lot of world-class companies brought them here. So it was good for us. And my point here today is not to say, okay, government should not extend or government should terminate Minta concession agreement. My advocacy would be about those things that we never saw yesterday and we are seeing it today. Let's try to include them if we should extend or renew this agreement this time around. So this is the reason for which we are coming in the public space. I know those that are responsible for the negotiation and all of that. So by me coming to this platform, I think it also serves the purpose to reach out to them there, and I know we are going to work together as country to see the best for our people. For me, I've been telling people, I will never advocate to say, okay, Minta should go. It will not serve business-wise, it will not serve our country well. Because if a company come in your country and then do all of the investment, when they go out there, one day you hear that, boom, they terminate the main contract. So nobody will be brave to come in your country to just do their investment or to spend their money in your country. So for me, the best we can do is to bring everybody on the table. Let cross all the T's and make all of the corrections. Something that was not in existence 2005. Today we have seen it. Let's get it, put in a new agreement.
Why do you think they've been avoiding coming to?
I don't know. I can speak. I'm not a PRO.
Yeah, no. Maybe,
we have been waiting for them.
You may have heard something in the grapevine.
No, I've not heard anything.
Have you all sat with the vice president on this thing? Because he is the highest official from the county. He is like between a rock and a hard place. I know they were strong on this Acelot when he was a senator. We all went with them. But now he sits in a position that he's between the executive and the legislature and all of that. What is his thinking too?
Yeah, so we have been working collaboratively. We, the leadership of the county, every time we meet on the Acelot thing, one thing we have been saying to ourselves is, let's put our house in order. We should not wait tomorrow when we say, oh, the agreement is at the capital building, then we say, this is what we want. The best we can do now at the negotiation stage, let's put forth our demand. And what are some of our demands? In time past, you said you were going to be giving us 1.5 million as accounted, right? So this time around, and all along you've been producing 5 million metric tons. So saying you yourself coming again to tell us you will be producing 20 million tons because you have built your concentrated plant for $1.4 billion. So let's do it this time around proportionally. You were taking let me say 5 million, you give us 1.5. You want to double it by 4. So let's multiply our 1.5 by 4.
Yeah.
So these are some of our demands.
And that would be $6 million.
$6 million. So this is one of the things we are asking as a county. And we've been very serious on it. We've been meeting the vice president on it because they are the one, he's between us, like you said. He goes to the executive, he comes to the legislature. So we are trying to put our house in order. Few weeks ago, we called on most of our stakeholders, some of our senior, people who are work both in the mining sector, in the legal fees, in other areas. We called them to say, okay, what are your advice? We're hearing that Minta is coming, Minta agreement is coming. What can we do? Because this thing, we alone from Nimba, we cannot stop the passage of Minta agreement. Over there, it's about vote. So if we are not together, other people could vote. And we alone cannot stop it. So the best we can do is let's put our house in order. Let's make our demand early. Let's make sure that these things are included at the level of the executive before it even come to us.
Okay. His name is Ernest Mansier, District Number 4 Representative, Nimba County. Like I said, we called him here because of his expertise. That's just one angle. Hopefully, we may find somebody from another angle in the legislature. This person says, good evening, Julius. I'm too overwhelmed by the expertise of your guests. Kindly a lot more time for calls, please. Okay. This representative is brilliant. He is truly fighting for the future of Nimba and Republic of Liberia. I urge his colleagues to join him so as to begin to demand more from concessionaires for the good of Liberia. Ernest Berle sends in that one. I want to understand something from your guys. Is it possible that you can have more than 2 companies in one concession area, meaning that is mining in different minerals? You can just jot down the concerns. Yeah. Can Liberians buy share in the company? Victor Smith says that. That is in Metal. Let's see who's right here. 777 700 995 555 995 995. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yes, hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Julius. Frank Gibson, I call from Paris.
Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, the gentleman in your studio, is he your representative? He is part of the legislature. Julius, now make that bill will be signed. Yeah, we're hearing the XPH bill being signed. Those guys sitting in that legislature, they signed a bill, signed a law, sign they put law bill, they are passing into law. Even somebody their friends say they have not seen that particular bill up to date and in the presence of the president now for signature. They have signed $1.8 billion. Julius, that's not a small money. Any currency of the world, $1.8 billion. It's a serious money. Now they are saying that the government has signed this contract, this agreement with American company. Even some of the legislature do not know about this. Yet the mayor is sitting there comfortably saying, no, the Mita bill is coming and we will do this. Those people are jokers. You know, sometimes I don't listen to Yaka Conva much. But when Yaka Conva says the legislature is the problem of Liberia, it's a serious problem. Those people would be...
So at this point now, you know, I'm not too much a fan of collective guilt, where someone sees where there is problem and they push it, and they say, oh, they will do them one, they'll do them one. How? No, but how? But you know how long this thing been on since the CDC government? No, but it means to me it means there's more seriousness, because since CDC time we've been talking this ArcelorMittal thing, it can pass through. So what is your advice to them?
My advice is it's a fun.
Okay, thanks so kindly, Frank. Yeah, bye. You get my people weak too, eh? These people been on the ArcelorMittal thing since CDC time. It was the first time the thing should have passed. I think it even surfaced at the legislature, right? I think so. Yeah, it even surfaced. Yes, these people stood against it. They did not pass. Then you say the people playing. What kind of fun people be playing for so many years a day? It means there's something more serious. So let's advise them and give them the necessary support rather than just erasing every effort they have made. You know. Welcome. Let's hear you. This one is not coming on. Oh, hello. Hello. That's not going through. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. Sure. Thank you. My name is Apui for balancing. Let me appreciate the lawmaker institute. I think he understands the mineral. He understands the agreement. And let me say this to him. let it hold as cocoa and going to push such an idea, because if the government live up to the MTA, it would be beneficial to us as Liberians. Because according to the expression, they said 90% of the semi-Syrian positions have been given to the Liberian government. Up to now, even the company who we put at 65%. But the government is not saying that the Meta should leave. He make it clear. But let Meta live up to the MTA. So let me appreciate him a lot. I appreciate him. And let it hold on. They should not swear away from this. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so kindly as well. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thank you, Julius. This is Zach F. Bembo, and I call from Upper Cardwell. I'm also from Nimba, Julius. I'm so happy listening to Representative Mansi discussing a mineral that is deposited in our country like this. I think the people who voted this breed of lawmakers from Nimba did not make mistake. Representative, thank you so much, and you guys continue the fight, because we need the better for our country and even the country at large. This method issue, you keep pushing it, because this time around is now with one person. All of you are actually doing well. Julius, thank you for your 40-minute time.
Okay, thanks so kindly as well. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Julius, I'm Avin Johnson calling from Tugo District number 4.
Mm-hmm.
So we're saying the Lord may God is still there, at least for them, trying to make us to understand certain things going on in the country. Because a leave with the government, they will be pushing police station case to the other people, and they be signing ugly a concession that will stop us.
But any lawmakers part of the government too?
No, the lawmaker is bringing sense to the country that people understand they are still there, that they need to do better that will help us. So, but for the government, the executive branch of government, let me not just put everybody in one part. The executive branch of government is very ugly to this country. So, thank you.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Thanks so kindly as well. Let's see who's right here. Welcome. That one is not going through. Let's see who's here. Welcome.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Mr. Jay, thank you very much. First of all, I'm Jeffrey Beer calling from Johnsonville. I must commend Honorable Honest Matthew of District 4. He knows well what he's talking about. You know, Meta still has serious problems. Even their own dwelling area, when you reach there, when they talk about steel giant, you will not believe it. I think you are doing that, you know the area. So what all he has said, let the Liberian people take it out of politics and listen to them, to their plight, which it will bring glory to us as Liberians. And more Liberians will be employed, and they will do better things for us. The country is underdeveloped. If the people look at us, when they come here, they cut us down. What is supposed to be for us, they just play with us and carry it. It is not correct. So I hope, Honorable, you stand firm. Nobody should detract you people. You stand firm. Let everything be done possible. Thank you ever so much.
Okay, thanks so kindly as well. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Julio. How you doing?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Booster Larry from Johnsonville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Julio, let me comment the lawmaker in studio. You know, you asked a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
About the president pushing Metastic. If the president take over and you make the CEO of Mr. Sue, what will you expect the president to do? Because he's satisfied with what he's getting. He's not talking about the people's interest. These are people that talked about rescue this country, right? And now he's pressing the when president prays Metastic, what you expect them to do? It mean they satisfied. Are you with me? Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So when the president prays, then they will be complacent.
No, but wait, what you know the president got? You know, you're going to throw allegations around too. That is the highest office. When you say he knows what he got, then it's like bribery or some kind of thing. You can be accusing the president's office of that thing. Yeah.
Okay, so listen now. If the president, the higher office that you're talking about, when you start pressing the people that you're supposed to put fire on, why they will do complacency when I come in, then your
yeah, you can turn that one, but you can't say because why he got because you don't know why he got. He get anything.
That's what I'm saying.
How you know he got something?
When you say you there for your people, you don't have to press your people. You have to do the right thing.
Thanks.
When you start pressing them, while they're doing the wrong thing, is that correct?
Okay.
You're not pressing them for the wrong thing. Are they doing that? You want back that kind of thing? You have to stop that.
I'm not backing. I'm saying you can't accuse the president's office of wrongdoing without evidence. That's the point.
Without evidence, okay. What the man is saying, what ArcelorMittal is doing there, is that correct or not?
So what is the evidence that the president got something from ArcelorMittal CEO?